We're here with Assemblyman DeMaio. You want to make a comment about what it's like to be here and to celebrate 50 years?
Well, this is a great day for Bridgewater. And it's amazing in 50 years that the department's gone from 11 members to 75 or more members. And from everything everyone said today, they continue to improve. They're highly trained. The chiefs have set the tone in the community that it's about the residents. It's the residents first. But at the same time, we have to keep in mind that our police officers, every day, they go out to help us, but they're also putting their lives in danger every single time they put on that uniform and drive out of the headquarters. So great to kind of relive some of the history. Great to be able to be here just in this time in history as a member of the legislature and to share this moment with Bridgewater.
What do you think, being able to celebrate 50 years of a police department, what does that say for a community and what does that say for the department here?
Well, a lot of police departments are much older and they're much smaller now. It tells you a lot about Bridgewater. I mean, Bridgewater's at a crossroads with the interstates and state highways. It's an economic powerhouse here in Somerset County and in the 23rd Legislative District. And the growth has been exponential. A lot of departments had 11 members in 1965 and may still have 11 members. This community is diverse in nature. It has a lot of business. And it is just amazing how they've kept in tune with the community. And they really know their community. But the training is higher and higher each year. And you got to give that credit to the leaders of the departments. The chiefs and Chief Caravella right now is doing a fine job of keeping that same tenor that was set out in the beginning 50 years ago.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. All right, so can you introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm retired Chief Richard Borden at Bridgewater Township Police Department.
And you were one of the first here?
One of the originals, yes. Mm-hmm.
So tell me what it's like being back at the 50th anniversary.
Oh, it's really amazing to think. I can't believe so much time has passed, though. But it's nice to see so many old friends. And
what was it like to be part of the first department and to put it together and to make it happen?
It was a building experience, and it was really an opportunity of a lifetime that you only get one time. And we had a great department, great people.
Where had you been working before?
I was with the Boundbrook Police before that.
But you lived in Bridgewater? Or?
I lived in Bridgewater, mm-hmm, yeah.
So it was kind of, you wanted to get something started, get it going here.
Yes, exactly, right.
So what do you hope for the future of this department?
This department is a great department, and I just, wish them well, safety and health, and the best to all the guys and girls that are on the department.
Thank you for being here. We're here with Bridgewater Township Mayor Dan Hayes. Talk about this event and what it's like to celebrate 50 years.
As I mentioned, to celebrate 50 years of any organization is really a big deal. We had a great crowd. We have people here who started the force 50 years ago, and it's just amazing to hear how, in many ways, it has not changed. The dedication to the residents is always the first thing that's mentioned, how to serve and keep the public safety first and foremost. But as we all know, technology has thrown new challenges, growth has shown new challenges, and each brick and each foundation of the prior officers has set the future course for all of us. It's really a great day.
What do you think are some of the most important changes that you've seen in your time as mayor in this department?
As my time as mayor in this department, probably the biggest change has to be the change in chief. We had the retirement of Chief Borden, and now we start the era of Chief Caravella. He brings a whole set of experience and leadership to the group, and we've had significant we had significant retirements over the last couple of years and replacements with new officers, and that adds to the strength of our organization.
You obviously work closely with the department, working with them and making things happen. But what do they provide for these residents besides the obvious safety? What makes them stand out in this department, in this township?
Well, sure. I would say, first of all, I definitely don't want to glance over and say the obvious safety. It is the biggest deal. It is what they are responsible to make sure happens. But what they bring to us, in addition to that blanket and that security of safety, they bring professionalism. They bring also a sense of, you've heard it today, community policing, which is very much a total involvement of our quality of life. And you'll see police officers in our schools, you see them in our streets, they're friendly with our residents, you heard them, they're friendly with our businesses. It is essentially a way of being among us and helping us grow. And that's what they bring.
What do you hope for the future of this department?
Oh, for this department, I think the 50 years is a long time for you and I, but in the thoughts of a department, it's just the beginning. I constantly hope, foremost on my mind for this department is continued safety, because it is a dangerous job. But beyond that, it is for the continued growth in professionalism, meeting challenges as our community changes, helping us meet those challenges, and be the community that's the exemplar for everyone.
Thank you very much. We're here with Chief Manny Caravella. Let's talk about what it's like to be part of this ceremony and to lead this ceremony as the chief now.
I tell you, it was very humbling. Seeing the retired guys that I start with. When I first started, I looked at the board the other day when I was trying to compile my speeches and stuff like that. There's only 5 officers retired when I came on. So I grew up with most of these guys. I came in as a, late 20s when I started the job. Now I'm into the mid 50s. But seeing these guys, what they taught me, what I learned from them just by osmosis, being around these guys. Great group of individuals, and I'll tell you, the guys that I have now working for me under my command, I think are the finest officers that you can put together. And I can't say enough about Bridgewater. I can honestly say that, even my wife she's a human resource manager. She said I'm truly one of the few people I know that truly love to come to her job every day. And I can actually say I do love this job, and I do love Bridgewater Township. This is my home. It's been my home for the last 27 years now. So it's been a great experience, and it's an honor to be a chief and running this organization, this fine organization.
What does it mean to you and the rest of the current department to see all the former people come back and to see some of the originals come back and to celebrate it with you?
It's words can't describe it, because what they started is where we are today. They set a precedent of Bridgewater. Bridgewater always had a reputation as being a great department, a leader in cutting edge and with technology and equipment. And from Fetzer to Chief Voorhees, Chief Obel to Chief Borden, and myself, we're trying to keep that philosophy alive, and we try to be the cutting edge all the time and trying to make the best department we can. And I think that, you look at these guys, and, I work for every one of those, some of their gray hairs might have been causing me, but who knows. But, they taught me so much, and hopefully that I pass along to the next generation, and the next chief, whoever it's going to be, takes over and keeps this tradition alive. I could say that Bob's Deputy Chief Scudney, he interviewed me he did my background to get hired here, and he looked at me and he says, he goes, 10 years ago you probably would have been too small to be hired here, and because Bridgewater were big guys, and I was almost 6 foot, and I would have been too small to be here. But that's what he said. But and here I am today. So it's.
What do you see as the future of this department in the next 50 years?
I see other than the change in environment, when they came on, they said, "Kid, this job changed so much." And I used to say, "Yeah, right. All you had to do was write tickets, arrest people. How much could it change?" But I can honestly say the job has really changed because the environment, the technology, what we live in. Police officers were loved at one time. Now we're kind of hated. We're hated, and so it makes it tough on us. And the new generation is going to be a lot tougher, because what the freeholder Assemblyman said, we're on camera all the time, and everything we do is on a microscope, which in the past it hasn't been. My son was in the audience, and he's on for 5 years in Branchburg, and I tried to tell him, I said, "Rob, this job changed so much. You sure you want to do this?" But it is. It's a changing world that we live in, and we have to adapt to how the world changes.
Good luck. Thank you very much. And we're here with former Chief Richard Borden. Can you talk about what it's like to come back for 50 years celebrating? I can start again? Now I don't remember what the question was.
How's it feel to come back?
Okay. It's been a long day.
Yeah, really.
We're here with former Chief Richard Borden. And can you speak about what it's like to be back and celebrate?
Very nostalgic, I must say. Haven't been back here about a year and a half or so, and you just step foot in the place and you feel like it's still your home in some way. And seeing a lot of the retirees who I haven't personally seen in a long time, many years, it just is a great feeling. And it really gives you a sense of history of what has occurred here over the past 50 years. And you even say 50 years, it's like, wow, 50 years. It's a long time. I mean, I did 31 years here, and I mean, there were 19 years before me, and I feel like I was here a long time. So it really does give you a real heartfelt feeling about coming back and seeing the people that still want to pay their respects to the department.
Talk about that 31 years and being part of this department. What was it about this department that was special and made you want to be here for so long?
Well, I think from its early days, when there were only the original 12 officers here, I think the growth of the town made it very desirable for people to want to come in. I heard about the town when I was working in a hospital in Perth Amboy. I personally never heard of Bridgewater when I was living in Hudson County, but the growth of it and the boom and how, essentially we started with sort of a very small operation, and it just blossomed into this. I think that and when what comes with growth is challenge, and I think that alone right there, the challenge of what we had to take on and grow slowly with it and get bigger and get better and stay on top of things, technology-wise and whatever, everything that came with the growth of a town like this. And I think that alone kept a lot of people motivated. I mean, we were the boom town of Central Jersey for a good many years, and what more motivation than you need than that, really?
There's so many facets to the department. Besides, you're handling the safety, you're doing the community policing. There's so many different pieces to this department. Where do we go from here? What more should we do, and what more can we do?
Well, the key thing I think is to maintain the department essentially maintain the growth of the town. You can't have the department fall backwards if the town is still progressing forward and population is moving. If we can just, I live in the town, so if we could just stay sort of steady and steadfast in what we have to do and acclimate to the growth of the town, we'll be fine. You have to be able to understand what you need, and as long as everyone is on the same page, and I think they are, I think the town will be fine. I think we'll all be okay, because it still is growing. I don't think we have exhausted it yet. And as long as we can move forward with it and stay progressive, I think we'll be okay.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thanks for coming. We're here with Sheriff Frank Provenzano. Can you speak about what it's like to come back here? You were an officer in the department, correct?
Yes, I started in 1968. It felt great to see all the old timers, the old guys here, and the ones that are all retired. But I'm not retired. I'm still doing what I love to do, police work in Somerset County Sheriff's Office. I think the guys here look good. Some of our buddies passed away over the years. We say a little prayer for that. But it was a great showing today. I'm impressed that residents of Bridgewater came out for it.
What drew you to the Bridgewater department initially?
I'm sorry?
What drew you to the Bridgewater department?
Well, I started working part-time with a sergeant in Somerville, and he was telling me about getting a job there, like I mentioned on when I gave that little talk. And I told him, no, I want to go with Bridgewater. It's a new department. There's probably room for advancement. And yes, there was. And over the years, you were an officer, detective. You went to sergeant, lieutenant, captain, retired as a captain. I think it was a police department that was growing. It was up and coming. They were innovative. The chief was a guy that always looking for something new technical equipment. What we had was probably the best around. Like they mentioned earlier, we were the first ones in the state of New Jersey to have semi-automatic weapons. I mean, we went for the old 38 6-inch barrel guns to the new 9mm Smith & Wesson, So it was an innovative department, and I don't regret a day not being there. It was the greatest thing I could have done.
What is it like in the community itself to be part of such a new department and to kind of be showing the residents, this is your new department, these are the people you're going to count on?
I think the biggest thing is that when the state police were here, they were a little distant from the residents. I mean, I would go around patrol, on your Saturday or Sunday, you'd see a guy out there painting a mailbox or cutting grass or something, and he's at the end of the drive. I'd stop and pull over. He said, something's wrong? I said, no, I just want to introduce myself. My name's Frank Provenzano. I said, we're Bridgewater Police. I just want to say hi, and your name is, so forth and so on. I think it's getting to know the community. I mean, I've been in Somerset County my whole life. Born and raised in a part of Bridgewater, which is Bradley Gardens, and I knew probably most of the people there growing up in Bridgewater and Bradley Gardens. I think it's an experience of meeting the people and talking to them and making them feel at ease with the police department. I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Where do you hope to see this department go in the next 50 years?
Oh boy, I wish I was here for the next 50 years, but it's like anything. I think they're going to do nothing but go up, get newer equipment and so forth. I mean, you could hear what the chief was saying about your license plate readers. Now the MDTs in the car. In the sheriff's office, we just got 6 body cameras. We're looking at that. I could see them getting body cameras here. Sheriff's office, we're looking at other equipment. I'll never stop looking for something new, innovative. If we could fit it in our budget, we're going to do it.
Very good. Thank you very much. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Larry Booty. I'm a retired police officer from the Bridgewater Police Department.
And when were you a police officer? What year?
From 1988 to 2013.
So how does it feel to be back?
It feels good. I see a lot of people I haven't seen in many years. People who retired when I was a new guy. I like seeing them again. And I'm seeing a lot of faces that I work with for many years, for decades. And I'm seeing kids who are just starting out.
Now, you talked a little bit about the painting during the ceremony, but can you talk about how this came about and how you just made this?
Well, when I first retired, it was like, now what? I wanted to do something with art. I tried watercolors. I couldn't stand it. And I started painting in oils in September of 2013. And then later on, or I think it was December or January, I decided to do a still life in my basement of my old uniforms sitting there. So I set it up and I painted this from life. And when I showed it to a couple of guys here, they loved it and they want to get a print. And I just thought, okay, it's a great idea. I had it professionally photographed and I had prints made. And next thing I know, 35 guys here took prints from me. And that's where it got started.
What does it mean to you to have this displayed now at the department?
Well, it's like an indelible mark that I've left in this institution, and it feels good.
So this is your old uniform?
Yes. For a couple of years in the late 90s, I was on the motorcycle, or fledgling, short-lived motorcycle unit, and the boots were very expensive, the coats were very expensive, and they still sit like I'll never wear them again. But they still have a revered spot in my heart, and they sit in my basement. And like what I mentioned during my talk, there's not a retired officer out there who didn't bring at least one shirt home, and that's what it is.
So it must have been a lot to you just to be part of the department and to be an officer if this is something that means so much to paint.
Well, yeah. When you retire and you become a civilian again, you go back into that civilian mode, and you're not involved in some of the I'd say crazy stuff that we used to do with here, the important work that we did and the dangerous work and things that normal civilians really can't even wrap their heads around, and we were all a part of it. And you sometimes need to look at those uniforms in your closet to realize that yes, it was still real and it did happen and you were a part of it, and now it's just relegated to the closet.
All right, well, this is a great painting.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, Kevin Goodchild from Booker & Zink at the Bridgewater Marriott.
So tell me what it's like to be part of this celebration.
We're very happy to be involved with this public awareness. Came gladly over to represent and also contribute and support the local community. So we're very happy to be here.
Cool, and what are we giving out today?
We did a mini in-house pulled chicken taco that we have on our menu, a very popular item. We get these little mini organic taco shells. We do a filling of pulled chicken, a little fresh lemon juice, a little cilantro, and avocado sour cream on top. We also incorporated one of our beverages with this, and that's a fresh strawberry with some fresh basil that we made a really refreshing beverage to pair up with this item today. These are both some of our new summer items on the new Booker and Zink menu, so very exciting.
Very cool. Well, thanks for being here.
We're happy to be here.
I heard you're going to have a new cooking show. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, we're also very excited to be a part of a local cooking show done, I think, weekly that we're going to be involved with, and we'll have various items to focus on. We'll focus on mixology, menu items, proper cooking technique, interviews throughout the restaurant, some of our team there. So we're very, very excited to introduce At the Chef's Table with Booker and Zink. So more to come on that. Very exciting stuff.
So I'm going to step out of the way. Why don't you introduce your team?
Please, absolutely.